Hello everyone, welcome to Olare Motorogi Conservancy, welcome to Mahali Mzuri. I am Jackson, my cameraman is Gideon, and we are as well with Levi. It's another beautiful day today. We have just started our evening game drive. It is a very beautiful day, a bit cloudy, a bit chilly. As you all know that July is one of our winter time. So it's a little bit chilly, mostly late in the evening and very early in the morning. So it's such another great day, and just come with us. We're gonna show you some stuff all the way along, and as we normally say, let us see what the nature will provide us. Actually, on my background I can see some baboons. We have a family or a troop of baboons. The baboons are right there. It is such a big family, and actually they are all they're all just foraging. I can see them looking for food. Some are up on a tree. Baboons are actually one of our relatives, you know. They can be able to, they normally have a bit of a chat together, and as well, you normally see them fighting among the family members. And they have a matriarch, or I mean, they have a dominant male. So some of the bigger ones are males, and those males, they normally protect the whole family. So whenever you see them along, they always live in a troop because they help each other in terms of defending their family members. So they make sure whenever they see any predator, like a leopard, which is one of the most predator for the baboons, they normally make a very loud chat, and you can hear them barking, trying to make sure that they give everyone an alarm or an alert, so that the rest of the family will be quite alert, and definitely they can try to run away from the predator. All right, so we're gonna drive a little bit closer, whether we can have a bit of a closer range. So come with us. Our roads might be a little bit bumpy, so just be aware of that. And also we have some rocky areas as well. So this is a typical wild in the bush. Right, so as I told you earlier, this is a troop of baboons. That's a collective noun for baboons. And they live in families. So this is one quite big family. And actually, when you look in front of them, you can see a bit of a little group of, or a herd of impala. So those impalas, they normally like to stay with baboons because baboons has got a very good eyesight. Their eyesights are excellent. And normally the impalas, they like them because they can give them alert in case of anything. So whenever they see any predator, like a lion or anything, they can be able to give them alert, and the rest of the family can be aware of that. So they have a lot of young ones. Sorry for that. It's a little bit of a, I'm just trying to zoom a little bit. So I can try to drive a bit closer again. Sometimes the baboons are a little bit naughty. In some places they can enter the houses, they can break some things, or probably they might even eat some food. If maybe you have your bananas in a house in the wild, you make sure that you don't make them come closer to where you are, because they're quite naughty. And what they normally do, which is funny, they make sure that whenever they feed on anything, they make sure whenever they eat a banana or any food, they make sure that they leave some droppings on the table, so that you can be able to tell who was along your house. So there's a bit of a little herd of impala there. There's 2 males and about 5 females, all stunting. So it means that these guys have been having a bit of a disagreement. I mean, I'm talking of the 2 males, but probably they're not fighting anymore, because you can see they're all together there. Although, you know, the males tend to be very territorial. So a male can only allow the females within his territory, but never allow the males, unless maybe somebody is defeated, and then they can be able to join the rest of the herd. So this is very interesting. Whenever you see the whole ecosystem, you know, all of these species being together, hang together, it is such a great time to see them doing such things. You can hear the baboons on the background. All right, I can try to drive a little bit closer again. So, all right, we're just driving along. So this is one of the great area for these animal, I mean the baboons, because what they're normally trying to do now, we have some trees which is just along the river. So we are just right on the bank of a river called Intektek River. So this is one of a place they normally like to stay. So what they normally do, they normally make sure that they find for the tall trees to climb, and this is where they can be able to sleep. So they live in a family or a troop, and then they make sure that they protect each other, and they find some nice, beautiful trees to take a sleep until the next day. All right, so actually they're just walking down to the river. There's a riverbed here, so they're crossing over to the other side. So all right, so we're gonna drive along and see whatever we can find as well. So we are a bit on an open ground, which is such a great area for different species of animals. Remember, some of the places here have been destroyed by elephants. So the trees you can see along, some have been broken down by elephants. And that is why you can see some bushes look a bit, you can find some places that look very clear. Not much bushes. Sorry for that. Our signal is a little bit a problem here. So actually there's a lioness right here. There's a lioness just on a shade of a tree there. It is a single lioness, and actually I believe it belonged to one of the pride called Nkwayanai pride. Nkwayanai pride was one of the biggest pride we have in the conservancy. And the most interesting thing with the pride, they went all the way down to the national reserve, which is Maasai Mara game reserve, and the rest of the prides have just come back again. So there is a single lioness. I think was just trying to have a bit of a time. Probably was trying to watch around and see whether he can find a food. This is one of the route for the animals. Yeah, this is where animals can walk through things like impala, zebras, and even wildebeest, because the river is down here. It's quite a big yawn. So it is such a great place for the lions to hang around. Most of these cats, they try to stay along to where the animals use the corridors, where the animals used to go through. So this is one of the corridor, which is more frequently used by topi, wildebeest, zebras, drinking and coming back. So it's such a great area for lions to hunt. Remember, the lions, they don't like much of the sun, so this is quite a perfect temperature for the lions. They're having a bit of a relaxed time, and most of the time, whenever it's cooling down, they definitely trying to walk around and try to find a meal. Whenever they're hungry, they will definitely walk around. If they are not, they can just take their time sleeping. You can say it's a bit licking herself. Remember, these animals, sometimes they have a bit of, they have some parasites like ticks, fleas, even flies. We have the lion flies that normally disturb them. And some particular time of the day when it's too hot, we have the orange leaf crotons, which are the bushes they normally use to wrap and try to prevent themselves from those from the flies. You can see how it was looking around. So actually, what is looking across? There's a river down, and she's trying to look across the river to the other side. Remember, the lions, all the cats, their eyesight are excellent. So they have beautiful eyesight. So definitely, this was one of the Nkwana pride is one of the great bigger pride we have in the Conservancy. And actually, the Nkwana pride, we have about 4 prides of lions in the Conservancy. We have Nkwana, and then we have Hamakop and Digi Digi pride and Moniko. And the Hamakop, the Digi Digi and the Nkwana pride, the Digi Digi are the daughters from the Nkwana pride. So it is just the pride split into 2, and Digi Digi pride was formed. So I think because currently the Nkwana pride is quite bigger now enough, I think it's a bit of a split again. Because we have been spotting some females, like 3 or 4 females being together. So probably they want to make another pride. Remember, the lions, they are very social cats we have in Africa. So they live in families. You might come across a family of lions which are maybe 20 or 30 lions together, and actually those 30, they comprise of related females. We call them sisters. Actually, they can be together like sisters, and that is why they have a communal circling, whereby the related females can recycle the cubs. It doesn't necessarily mean if one of the female was not there, whichever witch is around that particular time, they can be able to breastfeed the babies. So whenever they split, they form another pride, and whenever the pride is too big, that's one of the reasons that make them to split. Because sometimes it is quite hard for them to socialize and hunt for food. Because whenever the pride is too big, definitely getting meal will be a problem. Because if they kill something like a wildebeest or a buffalo, it's gonna be just a matter of minutes, the whole thing is gone. So that is one of the things that make them to split a little bit. So you look a little bit younger, it's not quite an old female, but look a bit young. Let me just try to drive a little bit closer. We are not far away from her. It is about 2 meters away from us. And this is one of the things. Lions in the Mara, they have such a way of socializing. And because they are more used to vehicles, and that is why you can see her just sitting without any problem. We have a bit of a truck passing us, so there's a car behind us. That's why you can hear that sound. Otherwise, this is quite a very serene environment. Yeah, so most of the cats here in the Mara, they are very social. And that is why you can see this particular lioness is not even bothering us, because they've been looking at these vehicles every time. And definitely, that is why it's quiet. He knows very 100% that we don't do anything to harm her. So we're just watching, and definitely we leave her in peace. He's a bit closing his eyes. I think it's a little bit want to sleep. That's a woodpecker. The sound of the bird. The lions are considered as one of the most lazy cats we have in Africa. They spend about, in a 24 clock system, they use about 20 hours sleeping. So mostly are just active like 4 hours, and that particular period of the time is either early in the morning or late in the evening. So generally the rest of the time lions are just sleeping. It's just like our domestic cat. All right, so we're gonna drive a little bit again and see whatever we can find. I'm suspecting that probably maybe there might be another group of lions somewhere. So we're gonna check and see whether we can find them. All right, so come with us. You can see whenever you look around, all of the animals have run away from here, particularly because of the predator. So every herbivore, whenever they sense there's anything like a lion, a leopard, or a cheetah around, they make sure that they have to run away from that particular area, because they know exactly this is where the danger is. So we are just close to the bushes where I'm thinking they might be the rest of the pride of lions. So this is where they normally like to stay. So we're just having a bit of a look and see whether we can spot them. Right, you can see it right there. There is two. It is a male and a female. So we have been thinking that they might be having a bit of a honeymoon, probably. So they're having a bit of a snooze. It is you can see it is a male and a female together. They're sharing the bed together, looking at each other. The male is making sure that the female will not walk away without him noticing. So they make sure that it's just after the female. So actually, all of the lions in this pride of Nkwanai, they are all 24 of them together. So we are suspecting that probably it's a little bit of a breakup for them. So the whole pride is like splitting, because for the last like few days we have spotted some of the females that have been walking all the way back to the cove of Olare Motorogi Conservancy. So there are 24 of them. Look, the male is up, and the female is like telling the guy, go away, I'm not ready for you. There's some hippos on the background, the sound. Female is yawning. It is very interesting the way they look each other on the face. Wow, look at that. They're getting up. Oh, look at the show. Look at that. Very interesting there. So what happened is, that was a mating. It was very quick, because the lions normally take about, I can say like 45 seconds, mostly 30-45 seconds. And every time they do it frequently. Every like 10 minutes they do it again. So they can be together like maybe 5 or 7 days, just mating. And that particular time, they just need to rest away from the rest of the group, because this is the right time for them to make babies. The gestation period of the lion is 4 months. So definitely for the next like maybe another 4 months, we're gonna see some young cubs from this pride. And every time, every single time, whenever they did the mating, you always see the females rolling down. It is a way of allowing, the fertilization to take up very quickly, or it can allow the sperms to travel in a faster speed so that they can fertilize the eggs from the female. So it's such a very interesting thing to watch. Remember, we don't see such an action every time, so it's such a fantastic sighting. So it was a very lucky day for us to find the mating lions. So it is a little bit, in some point, it's a little bit boring to watch the mating line in some point, because the only time you can love them is when they're mating. But as soon as they did the action, you will see them completely going to bed and sleep. So you might need again to wait for another few minutes, probably another like 10 minutes, and then they will do it again. Definitely, yeah, it's like human. Although I think for lions it's more quicker than for humans. It is roughly about a few seconds. But for them, they need to do it frequently. So this is the lions in the Mara are very interesting, because it is such a great time for them to mate, because we are expecting the big migration of wildebeest, which are currently up in the Mara. And this is the right time for them to do the mating, because they can have food as well. The food is a little bit plenty, which make them more healthy and more stronger to make babies. So it is really hard to find lions mating in such a time when there's not much food around the Mara, especially after the migration of the wildebeest, because when the wildebeest go back to Serengeti, the lions in the Mara will a little bit starve because there will be no much food for them. But this particular time from the month of August, which will be in the next like maybe 1 or 2 days, definitely the lions will be having a big buffet in the Mara because food will be plenty. It is such a lovely place for them to rest because it's a beautiful area. There's a bit of a watering hole down there, so they can be able to access water. Because whenever they're mating, this is the only thing they need now is just to drink water and rest. So for the next like few days, they're gonna just stay. Actually, this is Olare Motorogi Conservancy. So we are in Olare Motorogi Conservancy. So Olare Motorogi Conservancy is a little bit on the northeastern part of Maasai Mara Game Reserve, but we are bordering the park, and that is why we share a lot of animals. And in the Mara, we don't have anything like a fence. So animals can move freely from one area to another. You might see today some pride of lions here, and because the lions are very territorial, if any other males or sub-adults or probably the females that want to make their own territory away from the rest of the other pride, definitely they can walk in either to Olare Motorogi or probably to Mara North or even Abosho Conservancy. The male look a little bit older, but let me just try to push a little bit forward whether we can see the face of the male. Because I've saw a lot of skulls on the face of the male, which is, I think he went through a bit of a fight. Wherever you see the face, you might be able to tell that the guy have went through a lot of fight. And we are actually suspecting that this male lion belonged to one of the pride from Mara North, which is called Offbeat Pride. So I guess this male is from that pride. Because the proper male that are dominating Nkwaene pride are Olarpapit and Barnoti. And it seemed like these females have just walked away from those two males. So they've just come across with another boy. You can see the face is a little bit full of skull. They're getting up again. Another show again. Look like the female is not ready for it. The female was resisting, so that is why you can see the boy have just decided to slip down and face the other side. Although it's quite lucky because I've just got one, so probably was looking for the second round, unfortunately. But probably he's thinking that, he's hoping that he's gonna have another round. Oh, that's a bit of a sneeze. Look at the color of the grass. So they blend very well. In some point, it's really difficult to see lions, particularly when the grass are dry like now. The grass, the red oat grass in the Mara look very dry, and they have the similar color with the color of the lion. So they blend very well, or they well camouflage. So, and this color normally helps the lion because they can be able to ambush the prey. So it is such a big beneficiaries for the lions when the grass are long and a little bit dry, because the herbivores will be a little bit hard for them to spot, to see the lions. You can imagine sometime whenever you see them lying down, you might think that they're not alive, but they're very well, or maybe they're on a deep sleep, but it's just like half sleep, because they can be able to hear whatever is going on. They can be able to, if anything come closer, it is so amazed how they can just get up and quickly look around. So if, for instance, if anything come across and run across here, it's unbelievable, because both of them will just quickly run up and see what's going on. So it is such a very clever cut. Right, I was trying to give a few minutes if they can do it, but it seemed like they are more asleep. So we just want to drive a little bit along and see whether we can find other game along. So it seemed like they've been having such a great time sleeping. So I think they're not getting up soon. All right, so let's see what we can find again. They're completely on a slip. So there's a bit of a herd of impalas again. Few zebras on the topi as well. So this is a bit of a right time for them to be so careful, because the lions are not far away from where they are. So there is a harem of impalas there. There's a nursery herd. You can see them. They're all, you can see they're all females, and definitely there's one single male there. So this is a breeding herd, because you can see there's some young ones, females and the male. So they're very, very territorial, because they can be able, the male normally dominate all of the harem alone, although it will not last longer, because he uses a lot of energy socializing and mating with the females. So most of the time they can just stay probably maybe 2 weeks, if they can be able to stay, and then someone else will come in. You can see the males are the one which is behind. The male is right behind there. Definitely can be able to tell, because the male has got horns, and the females they don't have horns. So the male is right there, walking behind there, is making sure that he's follow the females, and then the females are the one that are walking away without the horns. Yeah. All right, so you can see them all lining up, all gathering together. So most of these herbivores, they normally just stay together for safety in numbers. All right, so there's some zebras as well there. Although the zebras are a little bit on a sense, because I can see one of the zebras looking directly where the lions were, so it seemed like it's a little bit aware that the predators are there. Remember, these animals, they have a beautiful sense of smell. Their eyesight is not really good for all of them, but at least some of them has got a beautiful eyesight, and but the sense of smell is very, very good. So you can hear the sound. That's a bit of an alarm call for the zebras. So it's just making sure that it's giving the rest that be aware that something danger is just within. Look at that. The color of the zebra is brilliant. They always have the stripes. And every zebra has got its own stripes. It's just like our fingerprints. These are bushel zebras. You can call them bushel, common, or plain. We have another species in Kenya, which is called gravy zebras. And the gravy zebras, you can only see them in northern part of Kenya. So the common ones are the one that we have in Maasai Mara. All right, so it's been a great time hosting you. So once again, I said thank you, and welcome to Olare Motorogi Conservancy. Welcome to Mahali Mzuri. Have a good time and see you next Wednesday. We still have plenty of game around, and definitely we are suspecting the big masses of migration of wildebeest. So we're having a great time, and we're looking forward that after this pandemic is over, we're gonna be together again and enjoy the beauty of Africa. All right, so have a good time and goodbye.